how losing a parent is one of the most hardest things to deal with in general, but more so in childhood. It's like very traumatic. And it's very weird for me because I guess I grew up, I knew this was something huge in my life and it was definitely something was missing, but I didn't have the coping skill. The coping skills weren't taught to me growing up on how to deal with my father's death. So now I'm 30 years old. I am in college. I went back to college to get my degree, but now that I'm older, I kind of have to face all of these things and like unfinished business from childhood and whatnot. So depression is something that I do speak very openly about because I think that not knowing about it, not understanding it, kind of keeps people in this place of like agony and misery. But on the other end of that, depression is something that people don't like to talk about because who wants to admit their faults? Like, nobody does. And because, in my experience, because depression is something that is so like stigmatized and misunderstood, it makes it really hard to kind of get people to understand you. Like, people either support me 100% and, say, hey, you're not alone. Like, I don't know what losing my father is like, but I understand. I have empathy and I understand, sad feelings. But then, or it's like the complete opposite of like kind of being like, what's wrong with you? So, it's very frustrating, but I think all in all, the thing that has helped me the most in dealing with this and understanding myself is education and knowledge. I read every day and I try to kind of like, I read a lot. I read a lot about science, I read a lot about neuroscience specifically, and I think when it comes to depression, anxiety, PTSD, any of those things, it's really beneficial to spend some time in learning about how our brains work and the reasons why certain things happen the way they do from a scientific standpoint, because we all grow up with like value systems and culture, etc., etc. And if we look at it from that standpoint, I think it makes things a little bit harder to deal with and harder to understand. But if you try to look at it from a more scientific aspect, at least for me, that's what's helped. This is the book that I'm reading right now. I put it in my bookcase. But I freaking love it. Like, when I go to counseling, I tell my counselors like what I'm reading and they write it down, and like sometimes I don't like to go to counseling because I feel like I'm making them laugh and it's more like, it's beneficial, but it's just like, okay, you're supposed to make me feel good, not the other way around. Anyways, I'm reading this book. It's called The Body Keeps Score, and it's basically, I said, it's brain, mind, and body in the healing of trauma. So it talks about like what your brain does specifically when you experience certain events, and it gives a lot of examples of real life people and situations and stories. And I'm not done with the book because I have ADD. That'll be a whole other video. But it's really helped me right now as I'm talking. I am having a panic attack. I have anxiety. I've been having anxiety all day since I woke up, and I haven't been able to eat because I've been so stressed out. But again, you can't tell because I'm really good at hiding it, but kind of sucks too because my body is like in physical pain right now, and I wish like I could just throw like bricks at my back, but that's not gonna happen. So Yeah, along with having a panic attack and not being able to eat, I do have class today. So that is something I have to figure out. All in all, if you feel depressed, you look up the symptoms and you feel like, okay, that's definitely me. Don't feel ashamed, first of all. Second of all, please talk to a doctor. Please talk to a doctor and like be aware and like be on top of your health. Your health is number one, regardless of what you have. If you have depression, diabetes, like whatever, like we only have one life and our job as adults is to take care of ourselves. So, whatever it is that you have, please, 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 and I'm saying this because I'm preaching to myself right now, take care of your health. That's it for today because I'm kind of out of breath now and I need to drink some water. But I hope this video is inspiring to people, and I hope that people just take it as like not feeling alone, because that's my biggest struggle, is feeling alone. I hate attention. I'm very self-conscious, and for me to actually be recording this right now is like freaking me out. But I also don't like to feel alone, so this is why I'm doing this. So you're not alone. I love you. People love you, and things will get better, I promise.